This video's gonna be a mess, I'm sorry. My face is much redder than I intended. Okay. Hi there, my name is Amanda, and it has been an interesting few weeks. So this is not my ideal like filming situation. The weather outside is terrible, so the lighting is really bad. I am not in a place where I ever film with any of like things that I would want behind me when I'm filming, but I'm convinced that that is not my face. But there are a lot of things going on and we are flexible. So here's what's going on. As of a few weeks ago, I officially graduated with my second bachelor's degree. We had a whole graduation and everything, which was virtual and asynchronous. So basically it was a YouTube video with our faces. It is what it is. We were also supposed to do like a pinning, and instead they pinned our medals and mailed them to us, which, listen, you gotta do what you gotta do. I get it. But that's okay. Also, like, Instagram is really cool. When you go to post stuff on your story, you can add like little stickers. So I took a picture of my face and I added a 2020 graduation cap. So we're so close to the same thing. So close. So I graduated from an accelerated second bachelor's nursing program, which, as I mentioned in my last video, was just really intense and crazy and kind of just dominated my entire life for almost 2 years. So I still have to study for the NCLEX, which is like the licensing exam, and I still have a few jobs, but I've been left with more like psychological and emotional freedom and the ability to read. So I'm really excited. So another thing that happened was that my sister's dad got really sick and ended up testing positive for COVID, and her and a couple of our other siblings had been around him recently. So my sister got tested and she also tested positive. Because I had to move back into my house, I'm living with her and I'm required to quarantine for 2 weeks. I did get sick, but I tested negative for COVID. So this last week it was just a cold or some sort of other illness, but I'm still required by my state to quarantine for a whole nother 7 days. I've also, because of the quarantine and like having to be quarantined, my sister is quarantined in her room and I am quarantined in my brother's room, and my brother, who was not exposed to her because he was at his stepdad's, is at his stepdad's, so that's why I'm in here. And that explains all this. So because of that, I'm still able to do one of my jobs because it's remote, but my 2 other jobs are in person. So while like all this time I have been, social distancing and not going out unless necessary, I do have 2 jobs that are in person, and one of them's a pharmacy. So it's not going to shut down, and it didn't shut down. So I have had to like go out and do that, but because of this, I'm required to quarantine because my sister tested positive and I came in direct contact with her. So I haven't been able to go to work for these 2 weeks. Now, I was sick all last week, so I did some reading, but I wasn't really feeling it, and I was just like really exhausted. And I do still have to study for the NCLEX in these upcoming weeks, and I'll be working 4 different jobs, but I still feel more comfortable and feel like there will still be time for me to read because I'll be able to balance it a little better now that I don't have constant assignments to do. So the whole point of this video is to talk about the books that I immediately plan on reading. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not great at this. Like, I will make like a TBR or like a WTR, like want to read, and I just end up reading whatever I want. So this is just my thinking right now. Who knows what's gonna actually happen? We'll see. Sometimes I film like a whole part and I'm like, you should do that again. And then it takes me like an hour to film 15 minutes. I'm so excited to read again. I think the last time that I updated you guys, what I was reading was Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo, or was I reading Shadow and Bone? Did I just start? I don't know, but it doesn't matter. I finished Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. I did enjoy this book for what it is, for sure. I definitely understand like people's like hesitations with it and the things that they say, although sometimes I think that people's critiques aren't necessarily fair or they're hypercritical of especially YA. But it was interesting. There was like a chunk in the middle where I was just like reading to just like get through it, of course, but like it was interesting. I am interested to see how this turns out. I will say I know how it ends. And I am right now 178 pages into Ruin and Rising, and I don't support it. How? How did we get from what happens in this, from what happens at the end of this, all throughout this, the beginning of this, to what the end is, to who she gets with? How? Not that there's anybody else in here that I really want her. Actually, there is. I'm team Nikolai. I don't know if that's a team because when this was big, I wasn't reading it, but I am enjoying it. This is my first plan to read. I plan on finishing actually in the next few days. I read like 100 pages last night because I was just like really in the mood to read. So that's something that I'm really hoping to get through. With that being said, of course, the next book that I really want to read, and one of the main reasons for me picking up like the Shadow and Bone series, is that I want to read Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I've heard incredible things, only amazing things. I know you don't have to read the original Grisha trilogy to like understand it and know what's going on, but I wanted to. I just like it. I like to read all the ones before. It's like, that's the reasons why I don't really read like Cassandra Clare right now, because I read the first like 3.5 books, loved the original first like 3, and then the fourth one, I think it's The City of Fallen Angels, was like really hard for me to get through, and I just put it down and never picked them up again. And now I'm so far behind, but I like won't let myself read any other thing written by her. I have to read it in order. So anyway, that's another one that I want to read. Something else that I am currently reading right now, I'm actually listening to it again. It's funny, I work at a Barnes & Noble, and the day that this book came out, I was checking like Libby every day, the like library audiobook and ebook app, because I wanted to listen to it as an audiobook. And I just like kind of started reading the first pages because I bought it and I just wanted to read it, but I wanted to hear him read it to me. So I was checking like every day, and then I don't know how, it was like maybe I forgot to check it one day, or maybe people were just more on it than I was, but it was like the third day and I checked it again. It was like a 6-month wait for it. So I like downloaded, or I bought Audible again just to like get this book, and then I got rid of it immediately because it's expensive and your girl is broke. But anyway, that is A Promised Land by Barack Obama. There's a million reasons that I want to read this book. One, because I enjoy political based books. I enjoy, nonfiction. I love it a lot. I'm obviously interested in reading his story, and so far I'm like a few hours into it, and it's like all about his life. He talks about his relationship, he talks about his children, he talks about, early campaigns and ambitions and stuff. And it's really interesting, and I love listening to him read it. And obviously he's a very good speaker, and he talks about how he wasn't always a very good speaker, but anyway, it's really good. He also references one of my favorite podcasters, Jon Favreau, because Jon Favreau was a speechwriter for him. So yeah, I'm really interested to read this. So far I'm loving it. It's really good, and apparently it's going to be in 2 volumes. Like there's this giant freaking book, and then there's going to be another one. So I'm interested to see, and I hope he really delves into like his administration and like decisions that he made, and like what his ambitions now, and things like that. And so far he is. So I'm interested to see his perspective on certain things, and I hope he touches on even like the more harder and contested decisions that he's made and stuff. So yeah, I'm really loving it so far. It's freaking heavy though. I'm gonna put this down. Okay, the next book that I really want to read is one that I read the first one. Literally, it was like throughout the entire time that I was in nursing school I was reading it, because it's so dense and so big. And that is A Clash of Kings by George R.R. Martin. So the second book in the Game of Thrones series, because I really want to get through this series, especially if he's planning on, coming out with some more soon, which as far as I know is the plan. I was told like, if you wait forever for him to finish the series, you're never going to read the books. So I'm reading them. I personally love the show, and I really wanted to see like the details of it. I love just meaty fantasy worlds. I did not like my own description of that. I love intricate, interesting fantasy worlds. And then obviously I like to pretend that the last season didn't exist, so I would love to see, I want to see more. I want more. So the next book that I really, really want to read, that I am super late to the party on, as with most of these things, is Scythe by Neal Shusterman. I don't really know anything about this book. All I really know is that death doesn't really happen, and there are people who are designated to decide who dies. I think that might not be true. I don't know. But I really want to read it. Everybody says they love it. I feel like it's going to be a quick read, and it's just a duology, so I think that would be awesome. I love duologies. I feel like duologies are like a good, complete thing for me. Like sometimes a trilogy can feel like there's just too much. Like they're obviously trying to like push it too much, but like a duology almost always feels like really solid to me. So I'm excited to read this. The next book is another book that I feel like I should have read already. And I actually kind of started it when I was in school, but then I just got so busy that I was like, oh, whatever. And I made my friend rewatch the original trilogy with me because I was just so excited, and I was surprised. There were so many parts in that I could just say every line, and I was like, I swear I haven't watched this in years, but obsessed. And that is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. So this follows Cornelius Snow. No, that's Fudge. What's his name? Coriolanus. Okay, so this follows Coriolanus Fudge. Oh my god. Coriolanus Snow, which is President Snow from the Hunger Games, and it follows him like before he's President Snow. That's really all that I know about it. I don't know much else, and I know that people enjoyed it, and it was a fun addition to the world, so I hope that I like it too. And I think it'll be fast to get through, because I feel like Suzanne Collins, typically her writing is like pretty quick and easy to get through, so I'm excited for this one. So with this one, I have like a little bit of shame associated with it, because this is also one of the favorite books, or at least last time I knew, was one of the favorite books of another another booktuber. Her name's Karina, and I think that her channel was Bookish Babbles. I'm not sure because I haven't seen her like come up on YouTube for me in a while. And I think she changed her name, but I haven't really been watching YouTube, or I haven't watched YouTube a lot. So I'm not sure exactly what happened. I don't even know if she makes videos anymore, but she was so sweet and awesome. And I really enjoyed talking to her. And we were supposed to do a buddy reads for the duology, or for the sequel, but I fell off the face of the earth. So I'm really sorry about that. If you by any chance watch this, hi, hope you're doing well. Please reach out if you need anything. I'm sorry. Anyway, so what I really want to do is I want to reread the first book, which is Passenger by Alexandra Bracken, which is one of my all-time favorite books of all time. I need to stop saying that. I loved everything about this book. I loved the main characters. I loved the storyline. There's like time travel in this, and I've never really read time travel and thought it would be weird, but I loved the way that this time travel was executed. The love interest, Nicholas. One of my favorites. I remember when I first started reading this book, I started listening to it as an audiobook, and I got to this part where I was like, I love this woman. I love this story. I was like, I need the physical book. And I went to like 3 different bookstores to finally find it because nobody had it, and it had like just come out. I was so confused. But anyway, I love this book. I'm obsessed with it. So the sequel, Wayfarer by Alexandra Bracken, is a book that I really want to read, but I want to read Passenger first because I love it so much, and I know the world is like a little bit intricate, and I want to make sure I know it all before I go into this. But this is something I definitely will be getting to. I think that's all, folks. I mean, there are like a million other books that I theoretically want to be reading, but it is what it is. Anyway, that is all that I have for you today. I have some fun video ideas that I want to do in the next few weeks, including my original tag that I made forever ago. But I feel like this is enough awkward filming for the day, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day, night, weekend, whenever you're watching this. I hope you're staying safe. I hope your family's safe. I appreciate you. Thank you for sticking around, and I will see you soon. Bye. Why does my hair do this weird this is not what it looks like in real life. Should I do this? No. No, 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 no.